about their investigation into the deaths of the actor Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa. They say he died from heart disease after his wife passed away from a rare infectious illness.
The world was left stunned when Hollywood legend Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa were discovered lifeless in their Santa Fe home, weeks after they had already passed. But as authorities delved deeper into the case, they uncovered unsettling clues, signs that someone had known about their deaths long before the news broke. All eyes quickly turned to Hackman's daughter, Leslie Ann. Was she entangled in something far more sinister than anyone could have imagined? What secrets was she desperately trying to keep buried? And just how far would she go to ensure the truth never saw the light of day?
The shocking death of actor Gene Hackman and his wife. They were discovered inside their home in Santa Fe on Wednesday after a neighbor called police.
The answers to these questions are more chilling than you could ever expect. This is the Hollywood mystery that no one saw coming. There was silence in the house. The front door was slightly open, barely ajar, like someone had left in a hurry, or was never supposed to leave at all. Outside, stacks of untouched mail piled up, weeks of deliveries abandoned. A neighbor sensed something was wrong. A call was made. When officers arrived for a routine welfare check, they expected the usual. What they found instead was something no one could explain. Inside, the air was stale, unmoving, as if time itself had stopped. Gene Hackman's body was discovered near the kitchen, slumped over in an unnatural position. His glasses lay on the floor beside him, as if they had just slipped from his fingers. In the bathroom, Betsy Arakawa's body was found. Pills were scattered across the counter. The water in the sink long evaporated, leaving behind only a thin residue. No blood, no signs of forced entry, no struggle. 2 healthy dogs roamed the house, but one lay dead inside a locked crate. Something wasn't right. The biggest question wasn't just how they died, but why no one noticed for weeks. Hackman's body had already begun the slow process of mummification. The breakdown had halted. The bodies weren't fresh. This wasn't a recent tragedy. It had been a long, silent decay. And then came the first chilling clue. Hackman's pacemaker recorded a final movement. Investigators analyzed the data. The timestamp didn't lie. It suggested he had died on February 17th. That meant the house had been eerily quiet for at least 9 days. No calls, no activity, no signs of life. But if Hackman had collapsed first, why? Was Betsy found in another room? If she had still been alive after he passed, why didn't she call for help? Why didn't she leave? Then came an even more unsettling revelation. Someone had been watching the house. Security cameras from a nearby property picked up strange movements. Shadows near the door, an unfamiliar car parked for hours. Phone records revealed something even more disturbing. An unregistered number had been bouncing between cell towers near Hackman's home, hiding its true location. Who was watching? And more importantly, what were they waiting for? Then, the case took an even darker turn. Authorities uncovered a digital footprint leading straight to Hackman's daughter, Leslie Ann. She had told investigators she had spoken to her father just weeks before his death. But the phone records told a different story. There were no calls, no texts, no recent contact. The last verifiable communication between them had happened far earlier than she claimed. And then, financial records. Surfaced bank transfers, unusual transactions, quiet shifts of wealth, all linked to Leslie Ann. The most damning evidence? Hackman's estate documents had been altered before his death was even officially confirmed. Someone had moved to claim his assets, while the world still thought he was alive. Leslie Ann was no longer just a grieving daughter. She was now the prime suspect. But the case wasn't over yet. Autopsy reports came back, and they didn't provide answers. They only deepened the mystery. No blunt force trauma, no wounds, no defensive injuries, no toxins, no signs of an overdose. Their systems were clean. It was as if life had simply stopped. Yet one detail stood out. Hackman had a history of heart issues. He relied on medication to stay stable. But when police searched the house, his prescriptions were missing. There were no refills, no bottles left behind. It wasn't an accident. Someone had deliberately removed them. Had Hackman been left to die? Not by violence, but by neglect? And then, one last revelation. Before his body was discovered, before anyone even suspected he was gone, Leslie Ann had been in talks with lawyers. She had already begun discussing changes to the estate. She had already been moving money. She had already acted as if her father was gone. The police had enough. Leslie Ann was arrested, charged, and taken into custody. Prosecutors wasted no time building a case against her. The altered documents, the hidden transactions, the financial manipulation, the missing medication. Piece by piece, the puzzle came together. The verdict was swift. She was convicted on multiple counts of financial fraud, obstruction of justice, and theft. Every dollar she had tried to take was stripped away. She lost all claims to her father's fortune. She was erased from the inheritance forever. But even with justice served, one question still lingers. What really happened in Gene Hackman's final days? Had Leslie Ann orchestrated it all? Or had she simply seized an opportunity? The truth may never fully come to light. What do you think really happened? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Because this case isn't over yet.